Assalamualaikum everyone. I am Manahil Remote Job Bali. I am a student of Rehan School, Korangi Campus, and I am from Karachi, Pakistan. Today we have a distinct guest with us. He is an AI entrepreneur, futurist, and renowned expert in various fields, including AI, cybernetics, and physics, with a remarkable track record and numerous accolades. Our guest promises to offer unique insight into the world technology and innovation. Without further ado, let's dive into our conversation with Martin. So, welcome, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Pleasure to be with you.
It's my pleasure. First of all, please introduce yourself for my viewers.
Okay, so as you've said, my name is Martin Ciupa, and I'm building an AI company here in Switzerland. I have a previous employment record with various multinational corporations and smaller companies as well. People can check me out on LinkedIn if they wish to, and they can get more detail. But I've worked as a CTO for a large robotics company in the USA, Calvary Robotics, and I've worked as the Chief Artificial Intelligence Officer of MindMaze, a unicorn neurotech company here in Switzerland, and a variety of other positions.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you so much for your introduction. So, now let's move on to questions. My first question is on your screen. Can you briefly describe your journey from your academic background in physics to becoming an AI entrepreneur and futurist? What inspired this transition?
Okay. Well, it's been quite a while since I was an undergraduate at King's College, London University, where I took a degree in physics. And physics has always been an interest area of mine from when I was a young boy. I remember watching a program on BBC television called The Ascent of Man by a philosopher of science and mathematician by the name of Dr. Jacob Bronowski. I do recommend that program if your viewers wish to learn a little bit about the history and the philosophy of science. Yeah. So that inspired me. I was interested in continuing my education, and I started a Master of Philosophy, completed that in Cybernetics, and I started to do a PhD. But the lure of working for a larger company and being a little bit more well off in terms of my income drew me away from that. So I moved to British Telecom, telecommunications company, one of at that time one of the largest companies in the UK. And basically, I started out as an engineer working on the first data network, which subsequently morphed into the internet into the UK. I took overseas positions with that company. I was the country manager of British Telecom in South Korea. I worked in Singapore, and I've worked in Australia. I've worked in the USA and in Switzerland. So I've been pretty much around the world. I've had the good fortune of coming out to the Indian subcontinent 4 or 5 times. And I always enjoyed my time there. Um, at that, so I started out as an engineer. In the mid part of my career, I was more of a commercial manager. I mentioned I was the country manager of a large operation in Korea, in Seoul, Korea. And so I've had two hats or two caps in my career. One is as a technologist and engineer, and another is as a general manager, commercial manager, sales manager, even as well. So that enabled me to look at maybe doing my own business because I could understand the development of the technology as well as the management of that business. So that's what I've been doing for the past 2 years or so, seeking out investment funds and the like. So Yeah, it's been a very interesting time. I should mention that I did do a part of my career was involved as a chief technology officer of a robotics company, Calvary Robotics, a systems integrator in the USA. And I also, as I mentioned, I was the chief artificial intelligence officer of MindMaze, which is a unicorn uh, neurotech company here in Switzerland. That's why I am in Switzerland, having taken that position. So, does that help you understand my background a little bit?
Yes, sir, I understand. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is on your screen. Your technical background includes big data, predictive analytics, and AI ML applications. Could you share a real world application of AI ML that you find particularly intriguing or impactful?
Okay. So, AI and machine learning are nested technologies in as much that machine learning is part of AI. But AI has other means of delivering technology than that. So it's the largest set of machine learning being the subset. So I've been involved early on when I was doing my PhD work with technology which was related to neural networks called group method data handling. For those of your viewers who are interested, the particular algorithm was one that you can check out called the Kolmogorov-Gabor algorithm, which is a polynomial which a multi-layered polynomial which you can use to train on data so that it can predict given other input data. So that was an interesting algorithm. I merged it with expert systems and I was working in a strategic planning application, which was quite useful to me because I was able to apply that algorithm to some consulting work that I did for British Telecom, as I mentioned, in Korea for the planning of the deployment of new telecommunication services on networks. There's a paper of that which I might share with you if you wish to, and then you could pass it on to your viewers. And that was a very foundational piece of work. And that was early on in the 1990s. And so that predated a lot of the work which would subsequently be done around the 2010 era and later on neural networks. I mean, those neural networks that we see today are much more powerful because of Moore's law. Now, Moore's law is an observation by a Silicon Valley scientist, and that every 2 years or so, the computer platform doubles in size and capacity whilst it halves in price. And because of that increased capacity of computer systems, neural networks, which are very computer intensive, became more and more popular. And of course, in recent times, we've seen the application of neural networks with large language models. And so there's been a lot of attention given to AI in the past 2 years in terms of large language models and generative AI. So you will have heard of technology and products like Chat GPT and Bing on Microsoft and Bard on Google. So these are technologies which people are interested in deploying, maybe even to artificial general intelligence, though I'm a little bit skeptical of whether that technology can deliver artificial general intelligence. But it's very exciting times in AI with many applications from healthcare to financial services to education, etc., etc. So many of your viewers will perhaps be interested in AI and will know what I'm talking about. And there are lots of career opportunities in that area. And we'll see what the future has for us. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing some tools name. And I also use ChatGPT. I mostly use ChatGPT, and my school, my school is very unique. So we are working from ChatGPT. Like I'm making videos from ChatGPT. I make faceless video. Can you hear me?
Yeah, the microphone is breaking up terribly. It's hard to hear you. Can you say again, please?
Sorry, sir, I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, the microphone. Oh, I think it's inaudible to me. I'm sorry. It's difficult.
Can you hear me now?
I can very
Can you hear me now?
hardly hear. I can hardly hear you. The microphone or your voice is
I
very,
can't
very
hear
broken.
you. Can you hear me now?
Very poorly, but I can hear you a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you so much for your answer. So my next question is, as a futurist, how do you stay ahead of emerging technologies and trends in AI and cybernetics? What sources of strategies do you use? Anticipate the future landscape.
I'm sorry. I can hardly hear anything that you're saying. Can you hear me at all? Can you hear me? Oh, no.
Can you hear me now?
No, it's very broken. I'm sorry. I think we have to terminate our call. I'm so sorry.
Oh, can you hear me? Sir, can you hear me now?
No, it's can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you and I check live. It's good. So can you change your mobile?
I'm so sorry.
Sir, please take message.
जंजीरें अब तोड़ देंगे। जंजीरें अब तोड़ देंगे, तरक्की से रिश्ता जोड़ देंगे। जॉब के पट्टे से आजादी, गुलामी अब छोड़ दे।
साथ है हमारे बड़े दिल वाला, मुश्किलों से जिसने निकाला, गिरते हुओं को फिर से संभाला, वो है रेहान अल्लाह वाला।
किया हर मैदान फतह, किया हर मैदान फतह, किया उसने सबको जमा, किया उसने सबको जमा, वो है रेहान अल्लाह वाला, वो है रेहान अल्लाह वाला।
गूगल से वेरीफाई करेंगे, यूट्यूब से सब कुछ सीखेंगे, फेसबुक से फैलाएंगे और ट्विटर से सबको बताएंगे। कर रूठ गई है तकदीरें और टूट गई है शमशीरें, मोबाइल है अब अपना निशान, अब काम करेंगी तदबीरें।
हमारे सारे के सारे लोग पढ़ना लिखना, अपने इल्म को हासिल करना, और जो कोई वो आमदनी कमाते हैं उसको ज़्यादा कमाना शुरू कर दें। वो ज़्यादा कब कमाएंगे? ज़्यादा वो जब कमाएंगे कि जब उनके पास वो एक खिलौना होगा जिसको हम मोबाइल फ़ोन कहते हैं, और उस खिलौने के ऊपर जाकर वो लिखेंगे कि मैं ये काम करता हूँ, मैं इसको बेहतर कैसे कर सकता हूँ। वो लिखेंगे कि मैं ये सीखना चाहता हूँ, मैं बेहतर कैसे कर सकता हूँ। वो लिखेंगे कि मैं इल्म हासिल करना चाहता हूँ अपनी फील्ड का, मैं कैसे कर सकता हूँ। उसके लिए हमें हर पाकिस्तानी के हाथ में एक अदद ये खिलौना पहुँचाना है। आज पाकिस्तान के 150 मिलियन लोगों के पास ये खिलौना नहीं पहुँचा है। मैं आपसे 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 मदद चाहता हूँ कि आप मदद करें और ये खिलौना सबके हाथ में पहुँचाएं।
हमारे बड़े दिल वाला, मुश्किलों से जिसने निकाला, गिरते हुओं को फिर से संभाला, वो है रेहान अल्लाह वाला।
किया हर मैदान फतह, किया हर मैदान फतह, किया उसने सबको जमा, किया उसने सबको जमा, वो है रेहान अल्लाह वाला, वो है रेहान अल्लाह वाला।
कहने को हम जर्रा थे पर अब लोहे का छर्रा है, गर्दिशों को हम तोड़ देंगे, शर्माना अब छोड़ देंगे। नए जमाने नए दौर से रिश्ता अपना जोड़कर ढूंढेंगे अपनी मंजिल, ना दुखेगा अब किसी का दिल।
किया हर मैदान फतह, किया हर मैदान फतह, किया उसने सबको जमा, किया उसने सबको जमा, वो है रेहान अल्लाह वाला, वो है रेहान अल्लाह वाला।
गूगल से वेरीफाई करेंगे, यूट्यूब से सब कुछ सीखेंगे, फेसबुक से फैलाएंगे और ट्विटर से सबको बताएंगे। साथ है हमारे बड़े दिल वाला, मुश्किलों से जिसने निकाला, गिरते हुओं को फिर से संभाला, वो है रेहान अल्लाह वाला।
किया हर मैदान फतह,